Once again here, direct from the UCLA campus, this is Luis Alfredo Maya for KnowYourGovernment.us. I'm talking to students and I'm talking to citizens here. We're talking about one simple issue, the state of our union. Obama is set to address the public about the state of our union. Let's hear what the citizens have to say. How do you feel about the state of the union right now?
Well, brother, the state of our union is not good. We're slowly moving in a better direction than we were under the so-called President George Bush, who was in legal presidency, which is part of the problem of the last 8 years. And what we need to do is get our hearts and heads clear about the main issue of the union. And the main issue of the union is partly twofold. The first is metaphysical, and the second is political. And the first part is that our politics and our consciousness is dualistic, as most countries are at this point in human history, and we need to go from that to non-dualism and expand our consciousness and expand our responsibilities in that direction and get out of the religious mafia and the corporate mafia, union mafia, church mafia that's been running the country, and the bankers in particularly, as an extortion protection racket. Basically, the U.S. government has basically been in that business for 200 years. And the other issue is that existentially we're an empire. We're not a republic. We've been masquerading as a republic since World War II, but since the death of the late, great Franklin D. Roosevelt. But we perverted our tradition, what limited democracy we had, and we become an empire, and we're trying to run everybody, and we become the moral busybodies, along with the state of Israel, of course, and Northern Europe, the moral busybodies of the modern world. And our job is not to do that. And so the conservative approach, of course, is that the business of America is business. This was Ronald Reagan's great theme with Calvin Coolidge. But I don't believe in that. That's heresy, both spiritually and politically. The business of America is the expanding and enlarging of human consciousness and responsibility. And that's a communal thing. And it's about the individual, but it's about the individual taking responsibility with other individuals collectively to enlarge human consciousness. This is what it's about. And if we do that, we'll survive and grow and prosper. If we don't, we'll be on the ash heap of history, and rightfully so, because nature abhors a moral vacuum. So it has to be the right morality and the right action. And so President Obama is basically a neoliberal
Speak freely, brother.
neoliberal bullshit artist, and I voted for the man, but I will not vote for him ever again. I don't trust him, and he's pimping for the lobbyists, the Zionists, and the bankers. He should fire half of his cabinet because they're a bunch of thieves and crooks. And the Republicans are fascists. There's no question about that. The Democrats are merely neoliberal fools, and I think what we need is a real politics of populism and responsibility. And I think Obama so far has not risen to the task. He's tried, but it's too little, too late. And what we need is a real social revolution of changing our consciousness. And the other issue, of course, is to tax the church. I think until the churches are taxed, you won't see real social revolution. You'll get all these issues like gay marriage and other issues constantly driving everybody crazy.
Being peddled to us when there's bigger issues.
Gay marriage is a necessary thing, but I think the gay community, as usual, and the liberals generally, have got the cart before the horse. The problem isn't gay marriage or the lack or even getting of it, which I'm for. The problem is you got to tax the church. Our country was founded on separation of church and state. I just spoke to a Muslim friend about this. I said that's why abortion should be legal. You can't have one law for the rich and one law for the poor.
Yes.
Now, the fact that he came from a mixed background, President Obama, is a huge spiritual change. But the fact is, he's no John Kennedy and he's no Malcolm X. He's too green. It's not his blackness that I worry about, it's his greenness. You know, he's too tied in with the
Wall Street financiers.
Wall Street financial crowd. And until the Federal Reserve and the bankers are nationalized and destroyed, they have to be destroyed. They're unconstitutional. And the whole principle of interest has to be destroyed.